on, viewers, and we are witnessing an all-out war between the executive and the judiciary, it seems. We are raising this question because the Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankhar, has sent out a rather strong message to the Indian judiciary. The Vice President has claimed that the judges these days are acting as super parliament, whereas the reality is that the law does not apply to them. He goes on to say that Article 142 of the Constitution has become a nuclear missile of sorts, as it is available to the judiciary 24/7. He also said that the courts cannot issue directions to the President of India. Remember, this specific comment from the Vice President comes just days after the Supreme Court heard a petition against the Tamil Nadu governor's decision to reserve 10 bills. Not only did the Supreme Court declare the governor's actions illegal, it actually prescribed that the President of the country should decide within 3 months on such bills. And in case of any delay, the reasons will have to be recorded and conveyed to the state. And just days after this order, the Vice President says the Supreme Court is not really in a position to direct the President. Not just that, the Vice President further slammed the Supreme Court by saying it chose to lean on the Constitution to use its powers to direct the Union's President. But the same Supreme Court adopted a path and procedure not laid down in the Constitution when it came to the alleged case of recovery of cash from a sitting High Court judge's official bungalow. The last time the nation witnessed judiciary versus legislature clash, remember, was over the NJAC bill in 2014 when the Parliament passed it, only for it to be struck down by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional. Is this now possibly the most heated flare-up between the executive and the judiciary since then?
We cannot have a situation where you direct President of India, and on what basis? The only right you have under the Constitution is to interpret the Constitution under Article 145(3). Article 142 has become a nuclear missile against democratic forces. Available to judiciary 24/7 in New Delhi, at the residence of a judge for 7 days. No one knew about it. We have to ask questions to ourselves. Is the delay explainable? Condonable? Does it not raise certain fundamental questions?
Opposition, however, has hit back and said that it's the Supreme Court's job to rein in anyone who crosses the limit.
Judiciary cannot teach any lesson to the Parliament or to the President. But more than that, if anybody, whether it is Parliament or President of India, they cross their limits, then Supreme Court can issue a direction to them. That is the reason if we have passed any law in the Parliament or in assemblies and we feel that it is against the fundamental right of Constitution, it is against the basic rights of Constitution, then we knock the door of Supreme Court.
And viewers, Times Now has exclusively spoken to Justice Kurian Joseph, who is head of Tamil Nadu panel on state autonomy. While speaking to the legal editor Harish Nair, he has backed the Supreme Court in directing President. He says there's nothing wrong in setting deadlines for the President. Listen in.
We are joined by retired Supreme Court Judge Justice Kurian Joseph, who was 2 days back appointed by the Tamil Nadu DMK government, MK Stalin government, as the head of a high-power committee to study the Constitution and various laws to address concerns regarding autonomy, in fact violation of autonomy and the violation of federal principles, and to suggest measures to safeguard the constitutionally protected rights of the states and put forth measures to improve the ties with the center. Justice Joseph, thanks you for speaking to Times Now. In fact, a very unprecedented role for a retired Supreme Court judge. And how do you view this assignment, and what exactly is the terms of reference?
No, it is not unprecedented, because Justice Punchi had in fact headed such a committee earlier for looking into the center-state relationship. The Rajamanar committee was there, Sarkaria committee was there, so it's not unprecedented. And the terms of reference are yet to come, so I have no idea on what exactly would be those terms of references. But the Honorable Chief Minister had sought my consent whether I would be willing to head a committee to look into the center-state relationship and suggest better methods, as you said, rightly said, no? To improve the relationship between the center and state, so the federalism should work in a healthy manner. So I'm yet to receive the terms of reference.
So you spoke of glasnost and perestroika?
Yeah, I spoke of...
In what context, sir?
Yeah, I spoke of glasnost and perestroika, in fact, in the NJSC judgment, where, in the matter of appointment of judges, the collegium system needs a thorough glasnost, a deeper look, and then a perestroika, a restructuring for improving the system of appointment, the collegium system. That was the expression I used in that judgment.
In this context also, you propose any how do you see this?
In this context also, I would like to use the same expression, because the Constitution is an organic document. So as times grow, the newer problems come in, newer situations, newer challenges also would come in also. So to address those challenges or concerns, as you rightly said, we need to look into this matter with an open mind. So that is glasnost. It's an open approach. And then
reforms.
And then the open approach or open study should not end at that level. And that study should lead to rather appropriate reforms, restructuring, so for that purpose only, this committee, I hope, would be making a revisit and would probably have to restate the constitutional principles of the center-state relationships, a strong center and an autonomous setup for the states, so that in the true spirit India becomes a union of states.
Okay. So, there are several opposition-ruled states, but Tamil Nadu is witnessing the worst, one of the worst center-state ties, especially vis-a-vis implementation of policies and, in fact, regarding assent of bills.
It's a political question which I do not want to comment on it. But as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, one should be happy to note that the Tamil Nadu had taken this initiative earlier also. If I remember right, the former Chief Minister, Mr. M. Karunanidhi, who is the father of the present Chief Minister, had appointed a Rajamanar committee for the same purpose, for looking into the center-state relationships and for suggesting better formulae for working out a healthy relationship between the center and states. So this is something special to Tamil Nadu, which they always took the initiative.
Justice Joseph, will you be examining the state's opposition to the NEET and the national education policy?
Harish, I am yet to know the terms of reference, because without knowing the terms of reference, to be too early for me to comment on.
These are two issues, the basis of which the committee has been set up.
That's what I said. No, for me, unless I see my mandate, it won't be possible and it won't be prudent for me to comment on it. But the center-state relationships, of course, would reflect on the legislative powers of the center and the state, and particularly the concurrent list, and the fiscal matters and the administrative setup. All these matters should naturally come in for a study on any center-state relationship.
So you mean to say that there should be more open consultative process between the state and the center?
That, of course, goes without saying, is always required for a healthy relationship between the centre and the states.
So, this is Kurian. There is a lot of controversy over the Supreme Court in Tamil Nadu case recently, prescribing a time limit for President to decide on bills, and if withholding or rejecting give specific reasons. Is it judicial overreach? Because Constitution Article 201 doesn't say so, but if Supreme Court introduces it, it amounts to legislating, which is the domain of the Parliament. So this is one of the issues which will be confronting you.
No, see, there is another angle on which one should look into it. See, any constitutional functionary, because Constitution is supreme, if any constitutional functionary does not function in accordance with the Constitution, how that functionary should function is for the Supreme Court to say. So I don't find it.
Let's now go across to my colleague Mohit Bhatt, who is joining us live right now for more on this. Mohit, you know, the statements that were made by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar yesterday have actually ignited a political debate as well, apart from this debate that has already erupted between the judiciary and the executive. We are seeing political parties also coming out, opposition clearly questioning the statements that were made by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar. Can you bring us up to speed with the key highlights as to what exactly is the opposition saying, and if there has been any reaction from the BJP on, you know, what the Vice President had to say about judiciary?
Well, as of now, the BJP has not reacted, but yes, to the statement that has come in from the Vice President, we have seen that how the opposition parties, specifically from the down south, they have come out and they have reacted and they have raised questions on the statement that is being made by the Vice President, and they have not agreed to it. Now, what the opposition also is saying, that just because there have been certain decisions that have come in from the Supreme Court against the government, against the central government and the state governments of the BJP, such statements are being made. Now, we need to look at the background of this particular statement by the Vice President. Now, given the fact that how few days ago we saw that how the Supreme Court sought to fix a timeline for the President and the Governor to grant assent to the bills that they come to them under a procedure, we saw that how the reactions has come in, and now we see that how VP Jagdeep Dhankhar has come out, and he has basically stated that everybody in this country, in a way he said, has an accountability, but the judiciary does not have accountability. They want to legislate, they want to do everything, but then they do not have the accountability. So clearly this particular when the Supreme Court sought to fix the timeline for the President, for the governors to grant assent to the bill, this has not gone down well with the Vice President. He has criticized and in a way has spoken also about the issue of that how during at Justice House we saw that how the money, the bond notes were being found, and then it was a huge issue. But then the Vice President has also raised question on it, where exactly is the accountability. So we see the political reactions also coming in on this issue. We have seen that how various political parties have reacted to it, but when it comes to the BJP has not yet come out openly and spoke on this particular issue. But yes, this particular statement coming in from Jagdeep Dhankhar has started a controversy between the legislative and the executive.
Right.
But what exactly VP is saying is about
We'll see how the BJP really responds to the kind of comments we've got from the opposition specifically. Mohit, request you to stay on with us.